My name is Euphemia Chikungulu, and with me here today at Tech Talk is a young tech entrepreneur from Undola who has been brave enough to go against the odds. He founded a gaming startup company in the year 2019, and he is now getting recognition for his work. Without further ado, I present to you Edwin Kapesa. Edwin, how are you? And thank you so much for joining us at Tech Talk.
Thank you so much, Euphemia, and it's an honor and privilege to be here to share my amazing journey in this field of technology.
Thank you so much. Happy New Month.
Thank you so much to you too.
All right, so Edwin, I think we can start on this thought. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started this gaming company back in the year 2019?
Back in the year 2019, if I could recall well, it was really a challenging year for me.
Yeah.
Just taking you back, when I was still in my primary and secondary school, I was a young boy who was brought up by an amazing parent, my mother. A single parent,
Yeah.
who's been always supportive in the things that I have been doing.
Yeah.
You know, growing up seeing things on TV and watching animations and seeing my friends owning like game consoles and stuff has always been something that was fascinated. My friends loved playing this stuff, but I loved creating these things. So I've always had that craving for like building something. So like, how can I come up with a solution in building this stuff? And by the way, I'm a twin, so my twin is the one that actually started engaging first with technology. By then I was just a comic guy, just drawing and doing fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really an amazing time. Just jumping to 2019. Not only 2019, it was, I think, during my secondary school chemistry class. We had chemistry. That's where the name actually rooted from, the Chroma, the pixel games, from the word chromatography. Yeah, because you know I love that name. It was really intriguing. Then from there, I just had to be creative and think of best ways. So from my favorite animation studio, Pixar Animation, the guys, and from what I do games to just like Chroma Pixel Games. In 2019, I was like, let's just kick off and let me start this.
Oh, nice. So you actually had to put together certain concepts from different terminologies that you like.
Yes.
Then put them together and form your own company.
Yes.
Wow, that's really good. So you mentioned to say you started your company back when you were in high school. Do you mind to tell us at what age did you start?
I started building games at the age of 12.
Okay.
My first game I created was Rise Up. It was actually one of my successful small games which I built, and I launched off to the Play Store. Yeah, and it was quite like, you know, like you know, let me not even hide quite a number of things, you know. By then, you know, Zambia wasn't at this stage it's at. It was very challenging, especially like internet costs, you know, and connecting with other people outside Zambia. Yeah, and I was very young and I didn't have access to most of these gadgets.
Yeah.
I used to just use my parents' stuff, and I'm like, Mom, can I lend this? And you know, and growing up in you know, in ministry, I would mostly find myself at church and try and utilize like the church computer and see how I can build from there.
Okay, wow, that's a really touching, interesting story. So I have been seeing a lot of posts about you on social media, and you're really doing great.
Thank you.
So I came across something on social media where you represented Zambia at the prestigious Africa Games Week in South Africa 2022, which was a huge inspiration, I'm sure, for you and other young people out there and game developers in Zambia.
Yeah.
So you had the opportunity to network with experts in your field, of course. Did you ever attend similar events right here in Zambia, or how can you describe the working environment in Zambia?
To be honest with you, the working environment in Zambia is slowly developing, especially in the field that I'm in technology. Regarding to the question that you've mentioned about attending something like what I did in Cape Town in Zambia, the only big event for technology which I've engaged in is the Momo Hackathon, which happened in 2021, where we were competing against finding this solution with the MTN API and stuff. That's when I got to actually engage, and that was actually my first time to be in Lusaka.
So you did participate?
Yes, I did participate in there. And out of 600 people, like, I think the finalists of 18 people were the people selected to travel to Lusaka to go and showcase and pitch their thing. And surprisingly, and you know, we came out like, you know, the first solution. Yes, I was amongst the finalist list, and we're actually first to bring a game solution in the Momo Hackathon.
Wow, that's so inspiring. So for those viewers out there that may be asking to say, what did you do after high school? Like, maybe what program did you do exactly? Would you be kind enough to just please give us a brief explanation about maybe what program you did before you started your gaming company?
My gaming company? Growing up for me was very interesting with my twin brother. While other teenagers were spending time investing money in buying themselves shoes, my twin brother and I invested time in paying for online courses. So the online course I took was Introduction to Java Programming in Game Development.
So sorry to cut you short, but where can, maybe let's say for instance, I do not know what Java programming is. So what kind of resources, where can I find such sources online?
Right now you could find them from edX.com. You can also find some from Udacity, and my favorite is Udemy, because it's very accessible and there are so many affordable courses to take from game development, programming, and so on. Okay,
that's really good. I really love your spirit, and you are a really hard-working man. So what are you currently doing for the Zambian youth? Is there anything that you're doing for the Zambian youth?
For Zambian youth, I'm doing something really big. I'm trying to engage with a lot of youths by connecting them and also mentoring them in this field. In 2022, just before going to Africa Games Week in Cape Town, I launched something called Zambia Game Developers Connect, where we call upon all the people engaging with the games industry in Zambia to come forth at Bongo Hive, who we partnered with to accelerate and make this thing happen. Okay,
so thank you so much for that story, Edwin. You have been doing a lot of things on social media, and I really love it. So I came across an article about your company, which is Chroma Pixel Games, on a certain website for Games Industry Africa, where they talked about teaming up, like you guys teaming up with Malaika Games to work on your game called Impanga in 2022. Can you please tell us a bit about how that was for you and the opportunities that came with it?
It was something that was groundbreaking, you know, like, you know, working and building partnerships outside Zambia has always been my dream when starting up my company, because you know, opening hands and collaborating with people with the same knowledge and the same picture is very important. So Malaika Games, I got to know these guys via social media, from, like, you know, LinkedIn, engaging with one another's content. So when I had a challenge with finding developers to work with my game Impanga, I didn't have a lot of 3D artists to help me model those characters. So I noticed there was a game studio like Malaika who had skilled 3D artists who could actually come in and collaborate and work with me. And Benin is on top, you know. It's not in central part of Africa. It's at the part of West Africa, east, somewhere there.
So an interesting point, something that I just heard you talk about, is partnerships. So I'm sure you know about the Sustainable Development Goals, and they highlight partnerships as a tool for developing countries to use in order to improve sustainable development across various sectors. So what would be your word to policymakers, investors and incubators, leaders out there on how best they can engage with young tech entrepreneurs?
What I would say right now, I'd love to speak out on something, especially regarding to the industry in Zambia.
Yeah.
We are mostly fond of like creating exposure programs, but in Zambia, it's about time we forget exposure and investment. I'm calling upon like investors or companies that are looking forward to amazing creative people and like-minded people like myself. They should propose exactly in which area of support they want to specifically jump in. For example, like I talked about my success with MTN. MTN exactly said, we're gonna give you this price pool, and from there, this will be your accelerator. So in Zambia, we should have more investment, forums, seminars, and more government related partnerships with the youths to come in to like support and invest in what we're.
Yeah, thank you so much. So still on partnership highlights, do you have any specific company or country apart from Zambia that you look forward to working with in the near future?
Yeah, sure. Like currently, I'm looking forward to work with Russia because I was in Russia last month to attend the Russia Creative Week, which was very big for Zambia and myself, because I was given a huge responsibility to go and represent the entire African game industry in Russia. So I'm looking forward to get technology from the Russian people right there in Moscow and see how best we can accelerate amazing softwares in Zambia and Africa. Together we form alliances and stuff like that.
Okay. So for those that do not know, what exactly do you guys do about, I know the name says it all, to say Chroma Pixels Gaming Company. What, can you just give us a brief explanation about some of the games that you guys have developed?
Sure, no problem. Chroma Pixel Games is a video game and development and publishing. So by the publishing, I mean we also call upon other developers who've created games and give them a platform on our accounts, because these accounts are very expensive for developers. So since us, we've already cut at that stage, we look forward to also give an opportunity to other people by publishing their games on our stores. And some of our great games that we have worked on is a game called Toys R Us, a blockchain-based game, which is launching a mobile version this month, and a software called Little Code Art Studio, which we are working alongside Algorithmics School of Programming in Lusaka.
That's really good. All right, thank you so much. So for the more about advocating for the youth and also encouraging them to pursue STEM related programs of their choice. So how best can you advise someone that is aspiring to be a tech related personnel out there? Like how best can you encourage them about technology?
I would say technology is the future and is the now of today, and I encourage them to find a platform. What they should look at what makes them, because technology has a behavior. If you love creating, if you are someone who loves creativity, engage with technology that deals with creativity. If you love to defend security, you can do something like cyber security and so on. It's on personal behaviors, I would say, technology.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So for the going back to your company, are you guys on social media platforms? Maybe for those that would like to check what you guys are doing, what services you offer, and like what are some of the social media platforms that we can find you on?
Okay, we are actually available on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and also we have an official website, www.chromapixelgame.com, where people can actually find all the information they need. Then they can also follow us on all social at Chroma Pixel Games. Then they'll be able to find everything there.
All right, thank you so much. I am really enjoying this interview and this talk with you, but we do not have the whole day, of course. So before we close, I want you to talk about Russia's biggest tech event that you attended. Was it last month, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, last month.
Yeah. How was that experience for you, and what are some of the insights about the event that you can share exclusively through Tech Talk today?
Okay, I'll just summarize it to just say it was something which had a lot of questions coming from different industry stakeholders, just like my partners, like Microsoft, who I work with, and you know, these geopolitical things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the Russia Creative Week was Russia's most biggest tech event, which they host with different media houses from Singapore, Africa, and stuff like that. So the game industry was was their target this year, and they were looking for industry delegates who can come through and showcase and see best opportunities how Russia can support both monetary and also corporate collaboration and stuff like that. And for me, I see this as a huge superpower for Africa to work with the Russian people, because honestly, on my side, when I went there, I got to see amazing softwares that I use in a different land, you know, because that wasn't Africa. I was in Cape Town, I was still in Africa, but for Russia, that was a different continent, different language, different behavior. It was really great to see the culture, learn from them, see the side of view of how they view things to us in Africa, and also give them a clear understanding of what we are doing.
Thank you so much for all the wonderful responses, Edwin. And I think this is where we come to the end of our interview. Thank you so much for joining us at Tech Talk Zambia on this interview. We look forward to interacting with you soon on our other episodes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to all our viewers. This has been Euphemia for Tech Talk. Until the next episode, see you then.